Scott. How are you?
Good, Donna. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Doing pretty well. So listen, I know we chatted a few weeks ago about all the craziness going on with COVID and work from home, and I don't know that it's gotten any better since we last spoke. But wanted to chat with you a little bit today. I have a friend of mine. Just quick story. She runs a marketing agency in Denver, and by the November or by the March um, deal when everybody went home, she sent her team all to work remote, which over the last couple of months actually seems to be working out pretty well for her. So she made the decision a few weeks ago that the cost of the retail space in downtown Denver wasn't worth the money, and she could actually run her agency of 15 to 20 people completely remote. So we were chatting the other day, and she was talking about the fact that she now needs a phone system that can support, what she's doing, so that she, in her words, so that she still looks legit when people call, and it's not going to, Heather's cell phone in New Jersey. So anyway, she started down the path of looking for a UCaaS provider, and I checked in with her and asked her how things were going. And I won't mention the provider's name, but she said, as a marketer, I should have known better that what was on the website didn't really tell me what the experience was going to be like. And so she's had a really rough implementation, if you will, of the solution. And so I thought about you and just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that, direct versus
Sure.
going through this with a partner.
Sure. It's been interesting. As you can see, it's a beautiful August afternoon, and I'm on my patio working. So that's one of the advantages of mobility has brought, to my world. So, we as Corporate Technologies Group have been able to help many of our clients, figure out the new, work experience. And, what we've also noticed is that, when someone is working on technology, they're not typically working with just one company, regardless whether it's your internet provider, your phone service, security, things of that nature. And it can be pretty taxing on the infrastructure, whether it's, they have an IT department or they don't, and talk to them as to what's best practice and what's the best way to do it. What we have seen is that, our competitors, and when I say competitors, I look at a lot of the direct companies that, might sell the services or whatever. It's pretty much a sell you and leave you and move on. And where we have been able to help, and, we have probably about 10,000 seats worth of hosted services that we've installed over the last 4 years or so, as well as, have done 500 to 600 installations as well, is there's a lot of scars that you understand, and, what are the best practices, and unless if you're not a, 10,000 seat using company, then you might get a different experience. Someone who's 15 users and, they're disparate throughout Denver or whatever, is like, how does that customer do that? And, we're working on a deployment now of 350 locations and helping a client. And, it's a process, but the bottom line is, if you have it broken down, and that's kind of, I think, the difference between, working with a trusted partner, like, what we are, Corporate Technologies Group, or working with, one of the companies that you can, search online for that are a hosted provider, is that there's a personal touch and intimacy about it. And, because there's a lot of moving parts. If you talk about a phone system, if it's a PRI that they have in place, if it's POTS lines they have in place, if it's their phone system, we have the ability to sell both premise and hosted services. And our evaluation is, hey, look, we're going to tell you what we feel is best for you. It's not one size fits all. So that's where we're able to help our clients. And again, we have a, significant base of premise-based customers that we, come March, we had to help quickly. And whether it's forwarding numbers, whether it's having, 50 people in a contact center work remotely, how is that going to be done? And, having the staff that we had, everybody kind of, picked up their, pace and made it happen. So it's a challenge, but, you have to be very, very much an advocate for what the client wants as opposed to what's in your barrel.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of value add that your team brings to the process, not only, from the selection piece of that, but also, kind of the hand holding through, everything from contract negotiation to deployment. Tell me a little bit about kind of after the sale. One of the things that we hear a lot about is once you sign the contract with maybe a large service provider, that sales guy hands you off to somebody and that's it. He's gone and you're kind of on your own. What is that experience? How is that experience different with CTG?
So there's a couple of things. One, as a company, 70% of our revenue is based upon supporting the client long term. So as companies were able to, or some companies were struggling with, the downturn or the change in business, we didn't miss a beat here. So financially, that doesn't matter to us whether you're buying a premise-based or a hosted service. But after the point of sale, salesperson who sold you the solution is still involved. However, we are working with smart hands internally. It's also our salesperson's responsibility to keep the relationship working to the best of capacity. I mean, there's a school district in Northeast Ohio that we just had a quarterly business review call with, and we talked about, what does the fall look like for them? And so there's some changes that we had to make, but I was on the call with the account manager and, we talked it through with them. So, that's the thing. It's a continual relationship that has to happen because technology and needs from the company are going to continue to change. And we just have to be able to be there to help support them. Does that help?
Yeah, absolutely. One final question. When I talked to my friend, if I could have given her advice 3 weeks ago, or kind of how to get started, what to do if I'm a company and I'm looking to change services or looking to engage with a partner like CTG, what do I need to kind of get prepared for? What kind of steps do I need to take to start that relationship?
So, it's really not much. I mean, we have a discovery call for sure. And a lot of times what we'll do is we'll ask what's the goal? What's the initiative? And, so yesterday I was on a call and one of them was they had a really bad experience with one of their vendors. And, the number one goal was to make sure that vendor wasn't within their technology anymore, because they just had enough. But it's important to understand, current and future goals as well. So everything else on a technology standpoint, for the most part, can be wrapped together or help staged so that process, is accomplished at the end of the day, or the goal is achieved at the end of the day. But, thinking about where you want to get to as a company, to me, that's the most important part.
Awesome. Well, great. It was wonderful talking to you. I always enjoy listening to the stuff that's going on with you guys, and I can't wait to chat with you again soon.
Good stuff, Donna. Enjoy the day.
You too, Brett. Take care. Talk to you soon.